So I'm curious, what are the 3 rules, policies, or procedures in your workplace that drive you bonkers? I'd love to read your answers on the comments below. Hey everybody, you found me. This is your first time. Welcome. If you're a returning guest, welcome back to another episode of Safety Rocks. R.O.C.K.S. Remember our commitment to keep safe. Learn from the past, focus on the present, plan for the future. I'm Todd, your personal certified workplace safety philosopher. Apologize for the crusty voice, been battling a bout of the flu lately, but I'm glad you're here with me, and today is all about looking at safety from a 3-line perspective. Now, I'm a safety guy, not Spielberg, so bear with me. You may call them triangles. I call them triangles. Well, before we get to our 3-sided conversation today, please give this episode a like, and I invite you to share with others who might benefit from today's chit-chat, and if you haven't already, definitely click the subscribe button. I've got some dynamic episodes coming up in the weeks ahead, and it would be great if you could participate. It would be a shame if you filled up on mouth-watering appetizers and completely missed the delectable chocolate fondue waterfall dessert. So let's start with part 1. Within your company, who has the role, responsibility, and accountability for safety? Ooh, that's a box. We're talking triangles. In your company. Better yet, who should be considered as part of the whole safety equation in your company? Now think about that. I'll wait. Triangles. Crackers. French onion dip. Skewered Argentinian shrimp wrapped in hickory smoked bacon, drizzled with a tangy bourbon glaze, dusted with a pinch of garlic, grilled to perfection. All right, I'm going to give you a hand here. I've made a list of some of the roles that may be in your company. Let's start with managers. It could be executives. It could be shift leaders. How about accounting or legal? Production, procurement, material handling, maintenance, human resources. What about your director of first impressions? Who is the voice that someone hears when they call into your company? Is safety part of those roles or responsibilities? Well, everyone is a part of the entire safety equation. Yeah, that was a loaded question at the beginning, but you see the big picture in this, right? It's not just one safety person. Yes, the responsibility or the decision-making may go up the food chain, up the supply chain, or up the channels of communication, but everyone is a part of the safety equation. Safety is here, here, here. Well, here's an example of your building, your facility, your operations. So let's look and see where safety applies within your building. We have the front gate. So as people come in, employees come in, guests come in, contractors come in, so you have safety here. Well, there's safety here, and here, and here, and here. Oh, don't forget there, and safety here, and safety here, and then here, 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 and here. From the front gate all the way to the back dock, safety is a part of the visibility, of creating awareness, preventing hazards, reducing or eliminating injuries, or even worse, fatalities. Everybody has a voice in what happens within that job site or that building. Oh, I'm only an accountant, or I don't know if that's above my pay grade. I don't have anything to do with safety. Well, yes, you do. Everyone has a voice in what happens. The day-to-day, those 18-month projections, 5-year plans, everybody involved that is invested in time, in talent, in labor, has a say in the safety equation. So, what is that saying? If you see something, say something? Well, that rings true no matter where you work or what you do. Everyone has a voice. What could happen? Ideas that may lead to capital improvements, raised morale, cost savings, employees leaving with all their parts and pieces intact, and, dare I say, higher profits to your company's bottom line. So safety does play a factor in how everything happens from the front gate to the back dock. It doesn't matter if your company has 10 employees or 10,000. Ideas can go up that channel of communication. Why? Because hazards are real. Accidents can happen. And in the snap of your fingertip, or boom, clean up, aisle 9, and bring the bloodborne pathogen kit as well. You may not be welding in an accounting office. But here's the situation. What if someone was in too much of a hurry to place that, triangle, caution, wet floor sign on the break room floor? Someone else is rushing in to grab a cup of coffee or a cold beverage, slips on the wet floor, cracks their noggin, winds up unconscious, is rushed to the hospital, in the emergency room, and what does that cost? Spoiler alert, yes, I will be dedicating an entire episode on the financial toll that accidents have in the workplace and towards a company's bottom line. Prepare your minds to be blown, figuratively. Disclaimer, Professor Todd is not responsible for actual events which may have already occurred or are occurring currently or have yet to occur still in waiting to occur based on actual or fictional stories, anecdotes, theories, suggestions, etc. Remember, safety rocks. All right, part 2. What does a typical company chain of communication look like? I'll give you a hint. It has 3 sides. Triangle. So let's do a little dynamic here. We have 3 sides to a triangle and all the different departments that play a part in that safety equation. If one of those elements is not strong, then the triangle collapses. It kind of looks like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Oh, remember back to psychology class? Well, those of you who are budding psychologists or brainiacs may recognize that we have our needs, that bottom layer. Food, clothing, shelter. We need to eat, sleep, defecate, procreate. Then as you move up, you have from your deeds, you have your needs. We need friendship. We need money to cost of living, to pay our bills. And we have taxes, and we have family, or we have hobbies. And then pretty soon we get to the point, whether it's through life experience, which can have its ups and downs, or from saving, we reach that point of the triangle from needs and deeds to succeeds. And that's where we give back, of taking our knowledge of what we've learned over the years, the book smarts and the street smarts to give back to the community so that as a company, as a community of employees, we are working together to build each other up so that nobody is left in the mud. We all win when we all win. Okay, so we have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. 3 sides to any successful workplace. Let's look at this from a different perspective. You first have to have, let's call it energy. And then we have strength. And then we have to have attitude. Did I spell it right? Yeah. So the 3 elements of a successful safety program, you have to have the energy to get through the bad times in order to celebrate the good times. If accidents are happening, then let's have the strength to work together and figure them out. Remember back to safety R.O.C.K.S, remembering the past, learning from our mistakes and those who've gone before us. Our commitment to the present, despite all the distractions and excuses and things that could come up in any single day, like little grains of sand, our commitment to focus on today means using our training and watching out for each other. And then the last part, K.S, keeping safe for the future, the legacy. So we have our energy, we have our strength, and we have the attitude of working together. If you remove any one of those, then that whole triangle falls into play. And there goes Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're going to take a little sip of apple juice. So that's part 2. How your company's chain of communication can work in one of many ways. I like the triangle analogy, the dynamic. It's simple, it's strong. You may have your own performance improvement emphasis or PIE or however you call it. But having a program is better than no program, and then reviewing that program on a regular basis because cultures change, our workplace is changing, generations come and go within our workplace. So there's all this happening that we can focus on. Energy, strength, attitude. You know what? I should probably bring that back. Let's take a look. Why? Well, here we go. I'm going to ask you some questions here. I don't want to lose anybody, but how strong is the safety program at your workplace? What happens in the past? What happened in the past which created those pesky rules and regulations and policies and procedures? And then why do these rules and regulations drive some people bonkers, some to poke holes in it, and some just don't care? Where are the potential hazards that could create accidents and expensive accidents? Who's responsible? Where's the accountability should an accident ever happen? How far would that ripple effect extend following an accident, injury, or dare I say a fatality? Now, when I say ripple effect, it's like rocks skipping across a pond. That rock hits and it creates ripples. Well, we live in a reactive society, so when an accident happens, we instantly react. But in some ways, we can help prevent, reduce, or even avoid accidents by thinking ahead, planning ahead, asking ourselves what if, so that ripple effect becomes positive change. Okay, where is an accident permitted? Now, this is a trick question. The answer is in the question. So all of these and more, I told you at the beginning, there's some good stuff coming up. So please subscribe. Oh, and if I get 50 subscribers, I will eat 50 lima beans. Part 3, my favorite part, story time. Now, if we were to look at our world is a globe, which is too big to fit on this mat, but we can go to Miami. So let's all hop in my truck. Everybody, all of you, including you, yes, you, and make sure you're wearing your seatbelts. We're going to fly to Miami, and then we are going to go from Miami all the way east until we hit the Nile River. We're going to hook a left, and then we're going to end up at the Giza Plateau in Egypt. And there's a good example of triangles because they form a pyramid, which is actually 4 triangles put together to form a pyramid. And I'm amazed at these monuments that were constructed 5,000 years ago. And from a workplace safety perspective, in watching all the documentaries and reading National Geographics and talking to folks who have actually been there and are just their jaws are just like, whoa. These monuments that were built for purposes relevant to the culture at that time are still standing today. So it's hot. There's a lot of sand. And did they have the tools that we take for granted? Did they have sunblock or electrolytes? Or did they have, I'd say steel-toed shoes? No. Did they have hard hats? No. Okay, I will give you that their tools were cordless. Okay? So, yeah, they had tools. And then these engineering marvels built these monuments that have stood the test of time, that have outlasted millennia, not just decades or centuries, but millennia. I mean, I have seen sports stadiums that took 3 to 4 years to build, were only used for 10 years, and then demolished in a matter of seconds. In fact, I'm going to include a link below. There is a great company that has posted some of their demolition projects. And they're called Controlled, let me make sure I get this straight, Controlled Demolition Inc. They're based in Phoenix, Maryland. As I said, I'll include a link in the description. But it's amazing some of the projects that they have brought down, and yet these pyramids are still standing. And it's just amazing to think that at that time, 5,000 years ago, not having the modern tools we have today, by today's standards, they're still able to get the job done on time and under budget. That sound familiar? Yeah? Well, there was a deadline, there was a budget, there were resources, and there were times a year when there was a labor shortage because farmers would go back to their fields and tend to the crops along the Nile. Anyway, snap. I want to tell you, I have a special guest coming up. His name is Dr. Vladimir. And you don't want to miss this guy. He has some great stories and uses some pretty interesting dynamics about building. So if we're talking about pyramids and building things and putting things together, he's a very good resource. And I'm glad to have asked him, and he was very kind enough for this channel to lend his specialty. So look for him coming up. Let's wrap this up because time is of the essence, and I'm hungry, you're hungry, and it's a great day for safety. 3 principles for a solid workplace safety program: energy, strength, and attitude. All right? Lose any one of those, and the whole thing collapse. How strong is the safety program at your workplace? I'm going to leave you with that question. And I got to tell you, this has been a very great episode. Feeling better to share some of this information with you. I hope that you got something out of it. And, I'm going to ask that you share these ideas with others. people in your workplace, next time you have a team huddle, or heck, even with your family around the table, you can talk about how safety relates back to you personally and some of the things that you've learned or remembered, how you make a commitment each day, and what you plan on leaving as a legacy for the next person to pick up the baton. Together, we can use our training and watch out for each other, because together, we're going to save the world one accident at a time. This is Todd, your personal safety philosopher. Have a safe week, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.